Israeli surveillance technology being used to hack your phone? Let's find out. I'm Nick Hanna, criminal lawyer, and welcome to the first episode of The What and the Why. On this channel, I'll break down some of the most important criminal justice issues that you won't hear about in the mainstream media. Today, I'm going to take a deep dive into the Israeli digital intelligence giant Cellebrite and explain how its technology is being used on a mass scale by police and government agencies in Australia and around the world. Now, you might be asking, okay, is this just about the cops getting into the phones of criminals? If so, what's the big deal? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain why there's a whole lot more to the story and how the use of Cellebrite technology in Australia raises serious privacy concerns for all of us. I'm going to start by looking at the darker side of Cellebrite that most people don't know about. The company's extremely close ties with the Israeli military, particularly the infamous cyber warfare unit 8200, as well as the assistance it's provided to repressive regimes around the globe. Then I'm going to look at how insanely advanced and far-reaching Cellebrite surveillance capabilities are, and how it can download all of your phone and social media data, as well as a ton of information about you that you wouldn't even know exists. After that, I'm going to explain how Cellebrite products are being used by law enforcement and other government agencies on a large scale, with very few restrictions and no real oversight. I'll show how it's not just being used to download the phones of criminals, but also victims and witnesses of crime and countless innocent people. Finally, I'm going to talk about what happens with all of this highly sensitive data that's being downloaded from our phones. In doing so, I'll show you why there's a real risk that Cellebrite may be able to access our data and why that's something we should all be worried about. So let's start by talking a bit about the company itself. Cellebrite is an Israeli surveillance company that sells software for the collection and analysis of digital data. It's best known for its ability to hack mobile phones, but that's just one of many products that it offers. Cellebrite has thousands of clients across the globe, including law enforcement and spy agencies, foreign militaries, and private corporations. Cellebrite's headquarters are located just outside Tel Aviv, but it has offices around the world, including here in Australia. On its website, the company says that its core values are personal privacy, public safety, transparency, and respect for individual rights. But there's some good reasons to doubt this claim. For starters, Cellebrite has very close ties with the Israeli military, which is not exactly known for its respect for human rights. Until recently, the company has been run by its long-term CEO, Yossi Carmel, who was formerly a lieutenant colonel in the elite Israeli paratrooper brigade, and after that held a senior position in the Israeli Ministry of Defense. In 2021, Carmel admitted that most Cellebrite employees come from the infamous Israeli Unit 8200 or similar units. Now, to understand why that's so important, we need to talk a bit about Unit 8200. Unit 8200 is the main intelligence and cyber warfare unit of the Israeli military. Historically, its primary goal has been the mass surveillance of Palestinians and the populations in neighboring Arab countries. To give you an idea of what Unit 8200 gets up to, in 2014, a few dozen reservists from the unit published an open letter to the Israeli government in which they refused to continue their service due to the unit's mass surveillance and persecution of innocent Palestinians. In another open letter published at around the same time, a Unit 8200 whistleblower described how the unit collects highly sensitive personal information from Palestinian civilians, like if they're a closet homosexual, they're cheating on their wife, or they're in need of urgent medical treatment, and then use that information to blackmail them into becoming informants. Here is one of the 8200 whistleblowers being interviewed in 2014.
The problem is that the goal of what the unit does in regards with Palestinians is not just self-defense, it's upholding a military regime. It means to oppress the population, it means to weaken the political system of the Palestinians so that they can't improve their situation, so that the military regime continues.
Over time, Unit 8200's capabilities have expanded and is now considered to be one of the foremost intelligence agencies in the world. It operates out of the Urim base in the Negev Desert, one of the most powerful intelligence gathering sites on the planet. From there, it monitors phone calls and electronic communications throughout the Middle East, Europe, Africa, and Asia. It is also reported to run covert listening posts in Israeli embassies abroad and is known to cooperate closely with the USA's National Security Agency. So, what does Unit 8200 do with all of this data that it collects? Well, much of that is of course kept under wraps, but one of the more chilling examples that was exposed by an Israeli media outlet last year is the artificial intelligence targeting system known as Lavender. Lavender, which was developed by Unit 8200, is an AI system that processes all of the phone and other data the unit has collected and then uses it to create lists of people in Gaza to be killed by the Israeli military. Israeli sources have disclosed how there is minimal human oversight of the system and more concerningly, how the Israeli army pre-authorizes allowances for the estimated number of civilians who can be killed in each strike, as is explained in this video published by Vox.
Sources told reporters that for every junior Hamas operative that Lavender marked, it was permissible to kill up to 15 or 20 civilians, but also that for some targets, the number of permissible civilian casualties was as high as 300.
The cyber and other military operations that 8200 has been involved in have not just been directed against Palestinians, but also foreign states including Syria, Lebanon, and Iran. For example, 8200 played a key role in the planning of Israel's unilateral military strikes against Iran last month, which left hundreds of Iranians dead. Unit 8200 is also believed to have played a key role in the pager attacks in Lebanon last September, when Israel simultaneously detonated thousands of explosive devices it had concealed inside pagers, killing and maiming thousands of Lebanese citizens, both Hezbollah fighters and civilians, including numerous children. The attack was widely condemned by human rights experts as violating international law, and even former CIA Director Leon Panetta described it as a form of terrorism.
Is it terrorism?
I don't think there's any question that it's a form of terrorism.
I was in South Beirut during the pager attack, and I remember the chaos on the streets and the feeling of terror that swept across the city. Now, you might think that with 8200's track record, Cellebrite might try to distance itself from the unit for PR reasons. Well, that's definitely not the case. In fact, Cellebrite openly promotes the fact that it's made up of Unit 8200 veterans as one of its key selling points. For example, as you can see in this presentation for investors, Cellebrite boasts about having world-class talent from the unit, and that this gives the company a competitive advantage by generating unmatched capabilities. And it's not just low-level employees who are ex-Israeli intelligence, but many people who occupy senior positions in the company. For example, the company's long-standing CFO, Dana Gerner, is a Unit 8200 veteran, a fact which she openly discloses on her LinkedIn page. Gerner is also a director of Cellebrite's local branch, Cellebrite Australia, which is based in Canberra. Now, this relationship between Cellebrite and former 8200 members has been the subject